Good evening and welcome to tonight's John Young Show. I guess that's what we're going to call tonight's show. Hey, tonight we're going to be talking about graphics, graphic tips, ideas for design, all of that from our graphics guy here at DJNTV and Disc Jockey News. Jimmy DePalma is going to be on with me tonight, and we are going to be looking at all sorts of things graphical. Is that a word? I don't know. It is now if it wasn't before, so we'll be right back.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
All right, we are back, and we're talking graphics tonight with the one and only Jimmy DePalma. Good evening, Jimmy.
Hey, how's it going?
We are doing well, doing very, very well. It's going to be, we're talking design, we're talking graphics, we're talking about pretty. Yes? Go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Go with it. Dude, you've watched enough of my shows.
What I'm going to try to do is give everybody a little bit of tips to help them with their own. Some people hire people to handle this.
Yes.
And some people try to do it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
For the DIY people, I'm here to help you a little bit.
Yep.
I mean, you're not going to be an artist overnight, but you can probably put together something a little better than maybe you've been doing before with a couple of tips I got to share.
Excellent.
So, awesome. So what would you like to share first, Joe?
Well, so far you've got a flyer that looks like you put together.
Yeah, I did this for Matt Winninger.
Okay.
He's one of our viewers, and he came here. He's from the Boston area.
Nice.
But he came to do a job here, and we've been friends for a while. For a short time, he stayed with me on and off. He's been working out of the Chapel Hill area.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing some stuff for him here and for his endeavors up in Boston. All right. And this is a generic poster he puts out while he's setting up. So people know, hey, this is what's going on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And, his thing is we made this Matt in the Mix thing today. And he wanted to make sure that everybody could get him on social media just by adding at Matt in the Mix.
Sure.
But he also wanted his mattinthemix.com to be part of the graphic. So I'm like, how do we get the best of both? So I didn't want it was so much font and you have to run it together. So I broke it up with changing up the in the center to black.
Certainly.
And that's, it's a heavyweight font. And then he wanted the at, and I've tried it a bunch of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the best way to make it kind of cute and give it a little style. Because, I mean, it's just punctuation. Yeah. ampersand, and we add the .com at the bottom. I said, it's too much at the end, and then it confuses everybody when they go to at. So it's kind of like on its own little bar there. So it's there, but it's not overwhelming. As you can see, I put in a Techniques 12-inch platter. That's kind of like an icon for DJs.
Yeah.
People get it. That was I went with the blue and gold. I did a little fade on the top and outlined it, and then I used the inner shadow and put a little arc on it tonight and got people dancing. So it's self-explanatory.
So let's see, on the DJ at the very top, you must have a little bit of a drop shadow.
Yeah.
And then you put a little bit of
I got drop shadow. I got inside shadow.
Okay.
To give it that shimmy look.
Yep. Okay, I see that. Yep, on the yellow orange.
Just enough on the inside to give it a little 3D depth.
And
all right, and then I just
the color of the
go ahead.
Yeah, let's stick on the DJ. So on the coloration, what you filled that with, now that must be a gradient from yellow to orange.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then
did about a little bit deeper than a canary yellow into the orange, and that always does a really nice contrast with the blue.
Sure.
If you notice that across the country, 90% of TV graphics are blue and gold.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you go, in some market, they're going to be blue and gold. And it was the industry standard for a very long time.
Yep.
Still is. Let's see. You want to move on to the next one?
Let's see. I want to make sure we talked about all the different elements of what you used on that.
Oh, well, here's one of the things. All right. This is my little cheat that I use every week for graphics on Disc Jockey News. And the backdrops that I get, I usually go to sometimes Google Images.
Yep.
All right, and I go and I put in, we'll say blue, and I use wallpaper. Mm-hmm. Then I go to the where it says tools underneath that, and then I pick the largest size available because we want maximum resolution. We don't want a little postage stamp of 200 by 400 because then when you pull it up, it looks murky. All right, and that's a quick way to get the best look. I found that we also have different graphics subscriptions.
Yep.
That we have through the company. But sometimes you can't always find what you want. Just we have to modify them, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And adjust things, and that's just like that platter there was on a turntable, and I just cut out the platter. Didn't need the whole turntable.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to make it into almost like a dance floor, if you see.
Yeah.
Like a stage. So that was my thinking behind that.
Yeah. No, it looks very good.
Alrighty.
Let's pop to the next one.
All right. Let's see. Go down.
Should be just the arrow. Yeah. If you're clicked on that window, you should be able to just arrow to the right.
I'm trying.
There
we go.
Now you should be able to. Perfect.
All right. We want to do something for trivia night.
So let me put a pin in it right there. It looks like the same background, yet the one was blue, and this one certainly isn't blue. How did you do it?
Exactly, because it's at the same venue, and we want to keep it kind of the same, but all I did was I tinted it.
Okay.
I simply took the picture and went into the color. Let's see if I can pull that up. Let's see here. All right, I went in and I adjusted the color.
Mm-hmm.
there's the easy way of doing it where you can just go through the rainbow and you find what works really nice. And then you can go in and tweak the contrast to get a darker one.
Sure.
Or bring up, if you're not getting enough punch and color, you can bring up the chroma level or, the color saturation level. And that's basically it. It's pretty easy. Now, a lot of times with us, I'll, like when I do the boards, I'll do a color shadow around the edge. It gives it a little more depth than just putting an image. But because we have lights at the top, didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. But if you notice, it gets darker towards the bottom. And what I did was I did a real mild fade of black over that. And I faded it using the tool that, it's actually called the gradient tool.
Okay.
And you can set one portion to be 0 or alpha key, which means it's transparent. And then the other, you make black, but you don't do it full black. You only do a little bit, just to darken it a little bit, to give a little depth as you go down. All right. I saw this little guy, the little character there, right?
Yeah.
And he had one hand. I'm like, So I cut out the hand, flipped it over, and put a beer bottle behind it. Yeah. And simple. It was just really easy. Of course, I'm not showing what brand the beer is.
I noticed that. I noticed there wasn't any.
Yeah, it's generic. We don't want to tick off anybody. So yeah, and then of course it's trivia night. So I went and I put question mark, and then I type in question mark dot PNG.
Okay.
Now, not all of them, but a lot of them are already cut out for you. Have an alpha key background. That means it's cut out for you. It's a PNG file. A lot of them have transparency.
Yep, transparent background. Yep.
That means I don't got to cut them out, and it's awesome. And that's why you get the overlay with the transparencies, and works out real nice. Of course, the same bottom here.
Yeah.
We went. A lot of times you'll find, like, if you look at the top of the character, I overlay things a lot. I don't keep them separated. It gives you a little depth of field. In other words, it kind of simulates 3D.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and it gives you just a little more style to it. Of course, the trivia up there is in electric neon green.
Now, is that trivia font? I noticed how the T and the R, is that the font itself that runs together like that, or did you have to do something special?
Well, no. What I did was I pulled them together so they all touch.
Okay.
It was just a style thing.
So now, once they're together like that, I mean, we're not seeing between the T and the R, we're not seeing that line, the stroke line.
Yeah.
Did you have to do something fancy to make it so that wasn't appearing?
No, I just kerned them together. In other words, I reduced the spacing between all the letters.
And that's the way it turned out. Okay.
Yeah, and you can do that individually just by highlighting, with your space bar, or not your space bar, but your cursor over each letter if you want to adjust each one, or you can do the whole thing together as a group and just adjust your kerning, all right, or spacing.
Sure.
Letter spacing. Now, the space between the Tonight and the Trivia, all right, that horizontal spacing there, I didn't want to run it into each other.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do. I've done graphics where I've offset the type. In other words, I'll put it halfway and then put the other word halfway over, so they only cross in the middle a little bit, and I'll make them touch on purpose. It's just a style thing.
Yeah.
All right, and they're trends. You would never have seen that 20, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's just the rules change.
Yeah, very much so. And my wife
I mean,
comes from that old school rule thing, and she sees some of the things that you do, and she's like, "That's not done right." It's like, no, things have changed.
Things have changed. I mean, yeah, when I first went to college, we had computer typesetting
Mm-hmm.
that was done on a photo typesetter, which meant there was a little wheel in there with it was like a piece of film with all the different characters in a circle, and it would zoom. There was a lens that would project it like a gobo onto the piece of film and give it a little blast of light, and that's how it made the character.
Mm-hmm.
Then you would actually have to develop all that film, and then wax the back and cut it out and paste it. I don't miss those days.
Yep.
And being left-handed, I was always a messy graphic artist. Because as we work, we drag our hand through our work.
Mm.
Where the right, you work, left to right. Well, if you're working left to right, you're dragging your hand through. Yeah, just is the way. But yeah, that one came out good. We're gonna move on to the next one.
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see. I'm managing like 3 different keyboards right now, so
Yeah.
please forgive me. Let's see.
There we
All
go.
right, wrong way.
We saw it. Yep. And you got the arrow. There we are.
There we go.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Karaoke. This was from a poster I did before, and I just reworked it, saved myself a little time. I made the font bigger, and I made it full screen, where before it was probably about 60% of that size.
Mm-hmm.
And just pulled it down and took out all the beer advertisements and all the names of the places and everything, and I just turned it into a generic karaoke sign.
Sure.
And like you can see in the background, there's a nice texture wood,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easy to get the stuff. And voila.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. Let's see. What do we have next? Is there any questions? Anybody got any questions?
They're just chatting amongst themselves a little bit here and watching as we're going along here. And there's been some I've answered, like Photoshop, what's it cost and such. So we're good.
All right.
You're doing excellent.
I got to pull up. Let's see. I got to pull up something different. So I got to go back to me live.
Okay.
Do I need to do that?
Just you could unshare the screen if you want to, and then
okay,
it'll pop us up there wide inside. So while you're doing that, for those watching tonight, there will not be a second show tonight. I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a wave of bomb threats across the country today, where there were emails going out saying that buildings were booby-trapped with a bomb, and if people didn't send $20,000 to a Bitcoin account, they were going to detonate these bombs. And this happened across the country. And one of the businesses that was hit with that today was KC's shop in Chicago. So they had to shut down today and get the police had to come through and basically clear the building, as they're doing with most every one of those public type buildings. So Casey's just had a crappy day today when it comes to different things, and he's been running behind. So he's not going to be, he and I won't be doing a second show. So when we get done with tonight's show, we're actually going to open up the chat room and do a hangout that you guys can jump in on and be part of that if you guys want to be a hangout tonight and have a little fun just kind of talking on a Thursday night. So how you doing there, Jimmy?
I'm trying to find out. It's something I did for Scott.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's see, where is it? It should be in here. And all of a sudden, of course it's not. Let's see. Let me see if I can get through the pictures I sent to you. All right, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Maybe this is it. Yep. Let's see, and let me figure out how I share this with you.
Yeah, so for those of you, the press release or one of the things that across the country, there was one company that received 40 threats and they were almost all identical. So they knew it was pretty much crap. But even though they still had to clear out, and because if there happened to be just one bomb somewhere. So anyway, that's what's went on there. Okay, so we're looking at a sound system. We've got the Evolve 50s there. We've got the ADJ table, and
now, if you notice in the center, it's one of those ADJ tables. And what I was sharing with Scott, we all know that having a big banner on there is kind of like it's a little too much. All right, and I told Scott, I go, what you can do is you can have your logo. Just go to a sign shop and have them cut out your logo and put it on one of those boards. I go, put in aluminum. All right. They can use any material.
Okay.
All right. As far as like they have different vinyl. All right. I used to work in a sign shop.
Sure.
You can use any, you can use mirror, you can use frosted, you can use any color imaginable. So my thing was go with something subtle that's like silver. All right. You can even use reflective silver like they use on emergency vehicles. All right. If you hit it with a light, it's gonna gonna light up pretty nicely. But just for it's kind of like our black on black hats and things like that. It's subtle. It's not hitting you over the head, and it just looks elegant versus loud and boisterous. Yeah. So that's why I made that. I took his logo off the business card I made for him and basically enlarged it and sent it to him as what they call a PMT or positive mechanical transfer. And it's as a PNG file. So all they have to do is they put in their equipment. They'll do a outline cutout. They'll probably turn it into an EPS format.
Okay.
And the cutter will cut it out. And then all they do is they apply it to the substrate and, there you go. You're all set. Let's see here. All right. You're still seeing that.
Yep. You're going to have to stop the screen share and then go screen that window that you had before.
Okay. Oh, how nice. You get to see everything.
Yay.
Let's see here. Are we... Operator error.
Yep.
Let me see what I can do here.
If I do that.
Here's some...
Okay, I can...
All right, you got that? Good.
I shut it off so you can get your... I think I can turn it back on, too. This will be cool. I'm going to find out.
Okay,
so
hold on. Let me
computer's ready to go.
Good. Because I got some clients that might not want to be on the air. All right, let's see here. Okay. We'll close that and let's see if just this will come up. Where are we? All right, let's see if we can do it now, John.
Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, you might have to. I guess maybe you got to turn the video on.
All right.
Lower part of that screen. Yeah.
Let's see.
There it is. Yay! New Year's Eve, 2019.
Yeah. So this is my promotion for 2019 for New Year's Eve. And basically, it's really simple. I just took a fountain of sparks and centered it up. I did a nice little gradient. Actually, I made a black circle I
Okay.
put a font, all the font inside of it. But then I used the outline tool. And with the outline tool, you can pick a gradient. All right. So I did a gradient from dark blue to light blue at the bottom.
Yep. See that?
And then I beveled the edge of that to give it that little shine on the upper left hand side.
I see that.
Yep. And the actual people watching the thing, that's just an overlay, a cutout of a standard crowd standing around, and all it is silhouette. I just put it over the fountain of sparks, and then that's like 3 things composited together to create that image. And all of them either from our service, or some things that I grabbed off the net. And as long as you show respect and you don't just totally copy something, as long as you do at least a 30% change, it's not like you're competing with them for their business. So there you go.
Oh, it looks good.
Now, as far as when I'm working, web work is done in dots, 72 point.
72 DPI, yeah.
Yeah.
Dots.
And anytime I do print work, that's in 300. And I do everything from flyers and postcards to posters. Even I even do lately the company that I work for, other than you, or I work for a television station that started this year doing billboards. And I've been doing billboards left and right.
So now when you do that, do you set your document size to the size of the billboard, or are you doing it on
no, that would be ridiculous.
I would assume so. But
yeah.
So you must be then scaling it up.
Yeah, what I'm doing is I usually make them. I think it's 40. It's almost 4 feet wide by about 2 feet high.
Again, the same proportion as the billboard, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's in scale with the billboard. Yeah,
then
when they blow it up, you can see that it's not 100% perfect, but you're right on top of it.
Right.
You're looking at it from where a car is or from down, because these are up in the air. All right. And you can't tell.
Yeah.
You cannot tell. In fact, a lot of the billboard companies, they print in 150 DPI, not 300.
Yeah. I was going to say, I thought I heard that they printed at a much lower resolution, which doesn't really matter when you're 100 feet away.
No, because you're so far away from it. And, people are passing by there at, up to 55, 60 miles an hour, as low as 20. So you just never know.
Yeah.
But, they're not going to sit there and examine it. So the tolerances aren't as hard. Now, if I'm doing a vehicle wrap, I've been known to do it in 720 DPI. And it works out really nice.
So how does a vehicle wrap? That's actually a question I had for you. Is how does designing a vehicle wrap differ from designing a poster? Besides the higher DPI that you just mentioned,
you have to be mindful of the contour around the vehicle. Well, first one I did, I'm like, I was so proud of myself, and I'm like, oh, that looks great. And then the sign company called and they're like, well, what about the rest of the fender where it goes around the back? Because it was for a van.
Okay.
All right. Where it goes around back to meet the back panel that you did. We need another foot of just continuance. If you're using a background, we'll just say grasslands. All right. We'll just say you're using grass and you're doing a lawn care facility.
Sure.
You got to give more than just the side of the van. You got to give them enough to wrap it around. That was interesting. So I always ask them, "You want about a foot?" And they're like, "Yeah." So I give them a foot more image, and you have to create you have to create much like when you're building business cards or anything. You have what we call a safe title area. That's in television. Now it's not so big of a deal with HD TVs, but back when you had tube TVs,
Mm-hmm.
you had what's called a safe title area. Because now on every TV, sometimes the graphics get cut off
Yep.
because of the roundness of the picture tube.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and yeah, we used to have an overlay machine that would come up on the video screen and show you where your safe title areas. So you might notice if you do your own business card, they have a bleed line and a safe line. All right, the safe line is where all your text has to stay within that area, or else there's a potential that can lost, can cut off,
Yep.
and you always have to work harder and harder on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you've got to.
It seems like um, you always work your way in a little more, even past the text line, because sometimes what looks good in the end product, you're like, wow, that's right up against the edge.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that.
Exactly. It's like this is not.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Let me pull up something else here for you. Are you familiar with Voices?
I hear
The
some every once in a while.
the show The Voice?
No. Yes. Yes.
All right, let's see, new share. All right, I work for this promoter, Tony Napoli Events. All right, and he brings shows all over the Northeast.
Sure.
I mean, Long Island, Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, all through upstate New York. This one's going to be in my hometown. It's at the Stanley Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's simply you take the graphic and you work it in. You work all your text in. You basically tweaking it up. I put in the Stanley Theater marquee every time we do any event there. That place is so grand, John. It's like incredible.
Hmm.
It's colonial Spanish Baroque. It's gold. I mean the stairway, the central stairway. They compare it to the Titanic stairway.
Wow.
Yeah, it's if anybody gets a chance, go to stanley.org and you can see the place. It's amazing. I mean, they spent $17 million on refurbing it,
Hmm. Wow.
and we've done. My friend and I have done some concerts out of there. Actually, put them together. In fact, Howie knows him, and yeah, that's that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see the DJ. Let's see. What can I pull up? Another one. You can pop that out of there.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
Any questions?
You know what I'd like to see is I still want to go back and see an example of the wrap where you design a wrap. Do you have one of those graphics?
Okay. Let me see.
If you have one of those, I would like to see that. And I don't know if Superfly, when he mentioned dimensions, if Superfly, if that's what you were wondering, was the wrap dimensions, or if he was talking about something, other dimensions in there when he dropped that.
Let's see. I haven't done a wrap in a while. I've done partial stuff. Let me see here. I gotta go to my graphics folder.
Mm-hmm. So just to give you guys a heads up while Jimmy's looking at it, next week on DJNTV, Monday night I'm going to be doing 2 shows on Monday night. I've got, wouldn't you know, can't remember what but we were going to have a 8 o'clock Eastern and 9 o'clock Eastern show. Instead of having a convention series on Monday night, I've got DJ Bar coming in on the second show Monday. And then, of course, we'll have Shaney's I Got 5 on it at 10 o'clock Eastern. Tuesday should be Ben Stowe. The show, Ben Stowe and I are going to be doing our holiday cookie baking Tuesday night. And then following that up with Brian. For those of you who got to see, it was episode, let's see, Ben Stowe and I were talking about, do I really need a sound processor for my DJ system? And about the 20-minute mark in that video, Ben's daughter joined him. And somehow we got talking about Dad's cooking skills, and she let us know how good Dad is as a cook there. So I'm going to get, for those of you in the chat room on YouTube right now, I'll share that link, and you guys can go back and watch. It's pretty close to that spot. You may have to rewind it just a hair bit, but that was the video that where Ben's daughter came and lovingly threw him under the bus. So anyway, that's next week. And then after that, for the next 2 weeks, we're not going to have Monday and Tuesday shows because we have Christmas and then we have New Year's, and those are happening on Monday and Tuesday. We will have the tips videos are going to start to drop next week. We've been crazy with different things. So those are going to be carrying on right on through. And then December 26th, that night, we're going to be doing the drawing for that. There will be more tips videos that will be dropping after that, but they're going to be all the tips video, the people who put those in, they're going to be in that drawing. So there will be some videos that will be in the drawing that you guys haven't seen yet. You'll see those later in the month. And that all starts the tips next week, a couple of shows next week. The week after is going to be kind of a hit and miss thing. We're going to probably do a couple of live chats in there more than we're going to do the other stuff. And for those of you who are on the DJNTV Insider area, you're going to get a chance to see the recording of our baking show. We're going to stream that to the Insiders area. So you're going to see the behind the scenes stuff with Ben and I. And sometimes there's some weird stuff. Yeah, that you guys will get to see it there and be able to follow along in our follies as we are baking cookies. So
are his cookies going to be on the dark side?
Yeah, I see what you did there. Some will. If you guys have seen, Ben had some custom cookie for cutout cookies. He had some custom cookie cutouts made for us. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Alrighty.
So yeah, you should be able to turn the video back on there, Jimmy, when you're ready.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's one of the ones I did for the TV station.
Okay.
All right.
So what did you do? You started with a picture of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And then you designed everything. Then how does it go from that design to them?
Actually, this is a mock-up of what it'll look like.
Yeah.
Here, let's see. I'm not sure. Let's see. Don't say. Whoops. Okay.
No, it's okay. It popped out. So
that's how it goes to them.
Okay.
Right there, and they print that out.
What's in the back there? What's that big chunk that's missing?
Oh, that's part of the window.
That's the back window.
Yeah, that's enough. There's enough there to wrap around the inside of the window, but it doesn't make sense printing what doesn't need to be printed.
So then, do they feather the front or cut the front out to what will fit?
Yeah, they match the body. Yeah, I'm just giving them extra to continue to wrap all the way around the fender.
So then their graphic or printing program then does if it needs to be stretched or what have you, or reduced because of the contour of the vehicle, their software does that. So you don't have to worry about any of that?
Well, this is scaled to meet the vehicle. Top to bottom, front to back, with an extra foot on the front and extra foot on the back.
Okay.
So if you notice, it just goes to back on the back, black on the back side there.
Yeah, and I would assume then the other side of the vehicle is like the mirror image of this, or a variation.
Yes.
So that way,
Except it's just kind of reversed.
yep. So the blues
Whenever
meet
you
across
saw
the
it,
vehicle.
it was just, this is the opposite side. So
Yeah.
you have to set up the logos different. You have to set up the camera. In other words, on the other side, the camera faces back.
Sure.
Back end.
Okay.
Yep. Let's see.
Interesting. I've not played with wraps, but that was actually
Yeah,
a
I
conversation.
tend to, you know what? Honestly, I tend to not like doing full wraps. I think partial wraps are the way to go, because full wraps to me seem to get lost. All right, it's almost like camouflage.
Too much.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I like to wrap around the backside, but then do a contour cut of whatever you're working on the front. So if it's a logo, I'm going to cut around a logo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It gives it more pop, especially on, obviously a solid color vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. Where if you make it one big image, yeah, I suppose it looks good, but it doesn't grab your eye.
Yep.
I don't know. That's just my take. It's my style.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And my clients like it because it reduces the square footage of the print that they got to pay for.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And a lot of it's dead area, especially in the front windows and cab windows.
Yeah.
And they charge them by the square foot of vinyl they use.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not like you can get the whole thing done. In other words, by cutting like here where I did it, all right, it's all windows there. So why are you paying for all that printing? Where this you're cutting out. Oh, I'm probably saving them 20%.
Wow. Okay.
Off the cost of their print.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's white, it's blank, and they just go the machine cuts it out, the vinyl out, and then they just go and contour it around and cut their things, around the doorways and stuff like that. Sometimes, like if there's a doorway and we need to wrap it on the inside more, I'll stretch the image in that one particular area.
Okay.
So they can wrap it on the inside of both doors. And it's pretty easy. It's amazing how these guys apply it. Because I've done sign vinyl, and not my cup of tea, man.
Sure, I get that.
I'll design all day. I do not want to apply.
Yeah.
It's such tedious work getting all those little bubbles out.
Mm-hmm.
A little wedgie thing, a little scraper. It's almost like a flexible ice scraper.
Yeah, it's the same type of tool you use with applying a screen protector.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, oh, I got a bubble. Well, this iPhone's ruined. And then it's easier just to get a new one than to try to get that dang bubble out.
There's ways around that.
Oh yeah, there are.
Let's see. All right. I'm gonna pull you up one last one, then we can say goodnight. Let's see here. Desktop. All right. Is there any more questions?
No, they're just talking about Day and I just mentioned that a guy does his race car, wraps it and such, and he said it's pretty cool to watch him do that.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of race teams. I'm in the NASCAR belt.
Yeah, that's
You know, I got within an hour and a half of me, I have two major NASCAR tracks. I got Charlotte and Martinsville. So there's a lot going on around here. Let's see. A lot of times I do. Let's see at this one. All right. Let me. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want his number out there. trying to be nice, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Respectful. Let's see. Without stepping on any toes, because let's see here. All right. Here we go. My buddy Greg. He's an insider member.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You can put me in now.
Okay, hang on. Take off hold, and then
There
okay,
we go.
now you should be able to.
All right. Made this for Greg. All right. It's a real simple thing. He put it up on his Facebook, and he got gigs.
Nice.
I did one for him for summer parties, and he got 2 gigs off of that. So it's like, take advantage of it. One of the things I did with Howie, Howie turned me onto it. I'm like, well, we can do this. And what I do is I make a poster, and then I make a video around it. I might add some footage. I might just add an animated background on it. In fact, we did on the Insider Party.
Mm-hmm.
We did a bunch of videos like that. And this way, you get to see view counts, who actually saw it.
Exactly. That's why. Well, that's become a big thing on Facebook. Is just an image, but it's a 11-second video.
Yeah.
And they go 11 seconds for those of you wondering why, because Facebook counts 3-second views and 10-second views. So you go 11 seconds, then they'll count that 10-second view, which goes right back to what Jimmy just said. Then you know for surely people have seen it. Because if they watch it for 10 seconds, it's not just a scroll through the feed. They're generally pausing to watch the video.
Exactly. And, you know, that's what I do all day. I sit here and make a lot for friends, and I have clients. I do a lot of stuff for the TV station.
Mm-hmm.
I do stuff for the promoters. And, of course, Disc Jockey News. John gets my first call in the morning,
Yes.
whether he wants it or not.
Exactly. Some days it's like, I'm in bed yet, Jimmy. It's Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. What are you doing?
Hey, Howie woke me up at 7 o'clock this morning. He goes, you ready to do lighting?
Yeah, Howie.
I'm like, I'm asleep. Well, I just saw that you're on. I go, yeah, but I'm asleep.
I'm still sleepy, Pooh.
I'll have everything ready at 9. By the time I got everything ready, it was 11 o'clock.
You're Johnny on the spot. Jimmy, if people want to get in touch with you to see about having you do some graphic work for them, what's the best way for them to do that? James
M. DePalma on Facebook. All right. It's really simple. I'm on there. You can reach me at 336. Let's see. I remember it. 336-807-1382.
Jimmy got a new phone. That's why he's
yeah, I know. I got 2 new phones, actually.
Oh, geez.
I'm still not used to my home phone.
And you
in the office.
Yeah, and you only gave me one number. So what's that mean? Does that mean that I'm?
Well, that's the office number. If they need to get a hold of me,
I'm gonna shut this
Facebook's the way to get a hold of me. Just instant message me, ask for a like. I'll be more than glad to like your page. Friend you, whatever you want. And I don't charge an arm and a leg. All right, that's the biggest thing. I don't beat people over the head. But
literally with the stick.
You ask that you're organized. I'm not going to write your copy for you. You got to have your own copy. You got to know what you want. All right. And that's the only thing I ask. Be prepared, because I'm going to knock it out quick. All right. I don't like dawdling on projects. I had something I did for somebody, and I'm still waiting. Still waiting to finish it. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah, sometimes life's like that. So, thank you guys for being with us tonight. I am going to put the link for the Zoom, and you guys can join and do a Zoom hangout here tonight for the evening. If you want to join us and chat for a little while, that link will be going in, and then let's see. We'll be back again next Monday night at 8:00 Eastern for next week's shows. Thank you once again for being with us, and we'll catch you later. Bye bye.